Hello and welcome to another HTML and CSS tutorial. In the previous tutorial I talked about the different kind of CSS selectors that we can use. So the element selector, the class selector and the ID selector. We've already used the element selector, and that's where we apply a style to elements. So when we apply a style to the paragraph element, it means that every paragraph will have that style, so multiple paragraphs. Same with our headings. And then we talked about the class selector, and that's where we can create a class that will basically apply a style to all of the elements that use that class or use that class name. So we can have a class that will have make text blue, and any paragraph, any heading that uses the class name. So the class name might just be blue. Any paragraph, any heading, multiple paragraphs and headings that use that class name will be blue. And then there's another type of selector which is called the ID selector, and that's what we're going to look at in this tutorial. So an ID is unique for each element. So when we want to have a style that is unique for just one single element, we don't want to use a class. So we want to use an ID. So we shouldn't have any two elements that have the same ID. If we have two elements that use the same ID, then you can run into problems when you start using JavaScript code. So if you want to have paragraphs and headings that will have a style used across many paragraphs or headings, then you should be using classes, okay? But if you want to have a style that is unique for just one paragraph or one heading, it's just unique for one individual element, then that's where we use an ID. So in the body section, I'm going to put a few different paragraphs in. So I'll say this, we'll make the first one a blue paragraph. So this is a blue paragraph, and then we'll have a green one. So this is a green paragraph, and then lastly we'll say this is a red paragraph. Okay, so when we were using a class, we would have put p class equals and then give it a class name. But when we use an ID, we say p ID equals, and then for this one we can say blue. So we use ID, and it has to be a unique name. Okay, all right, so we've got three paragraphs here. One has an ID of blue, one has an ID of green, and one has an ID of red. We'll save that, and then we have an external style sheet that we're using for our CSS. It's in the resources folder, and it's called stylesheet6.css. So I've already opened that here. It has no CSS styling in here though. Now you might remember from the last tutorial, if you want to create a class in CSS, you'd begin that by writing that class name with a period or a full stop in front of it. But for an ID, we use a hashtag. So I'm going to give each of these paragraphs they've each been given a unique ID. So I'm going to create those IDs in here. So the first one was blue. So say hashtag and then blue, and color is going to be blue. All right, hashtag green. Color for the text is green, and then hashtag red. And of course the color for that will be red. To make it a little bit different, we might add a background color as well. And that can be orange. All right, we'll save that. And we've also saved this, so we can open this in the browser and check it out. And there we go. So we have a blue paragraph, a green paragraph, and a red paragraph, and we also added an orange background color for that particular ID. So just remember, there are 3 different selectors we can use in CSS. The element selector, where you apply a style to elements, so to paragraph elements, to heading, H1, H2 elements, and that style will apply whenever that element occurs in your document or in your web page. The other type we can use is the class selector, and that's where you can create a class to apply a style across many elements. And then the last one that we've looked at in this tutorial is the ID selector. And so an ID is unique for each element. So only one element should have should be using a particular ID. Okay, so an ID of blue here shouldn't be used in more than one paragraph. It shouldn't be used in more than one element. Okay, because it's unique to one element. So that's how to use the ID selector with CSS. Thanks for watching.